The prequel to Showtime Harry and Dexter's relationship from the original series is given a whole new meaning in Dexter, Original Sin's new retcon about the Morgan family. The story of Dexter, Original Sin, begins in 1991 when 20-year-old Dexter Morgan is introduced. He has just graduated from college, started working as a forensics officer at the Miami Metro Police Department, and been given permission to use the Code of Harry. Since Deb is only a teenager and Harry is still alive, Original Sin also focuses more on the Morgan family's history and secrets than the Dexter series, which debuted in 2006. Harry and Dexter must face the fact that Dexter can no longer control his bloodthirst in Dexter. Original Sin Season 1, Episode 1. Harry Morgan, the returning Dexter character from Original Sin, considers his past as a father while confronted with his realization about his son. This results in a flashback that takes place prior to the adoption of Dex and the birth of Deb. Through the character of Junior, whose tragic destiny alters the background of Harry's decision to adopt Dexter and his guilt over teaching him the Code of Harry, the flashback presents a significant revelation about the Morgan family. Dexter, Original Sin's premiere reveals they had an older brother who died as a child, which is a significant twist considering Dexter and Deb never mentioned having another sibling who passed away during Dexter's first 8 seasons. Harry has a flashback to what seems to be the fall of 1972 or early 1973, roughly a year before he adopted Dexter, after Dexter and Deb return home from the college party. The flashback shows a younger Harry in the backyard, watching a Miami Dolphins football game and calling to his son Junior, who abruptly stops answering. Junior, who looks to be around 5 or 6 years old, is at the bottom of their pool when Harry dashes outside the house. Harry Morgan, played by Christian Slater, dives into the pool right away and tries to save his son. When Junior doesn't respond, he frantically tries calling for assistance. The flashback then shifts to Harry's wife, Doris, coming home to witness a coroner carrying Junior's body away. Doris is screaming as Harry tries to console her. The fact that Harry had a son before Dexter is shocking, but it also raises the question of whether Dexter and Deb were even aware of their brother. Given the guilt Harry feels for not being able to save Junior, it's possible that their grief caused them to never speak of their deceased son again. Junior passed away a year before Dexter was adopted and a few years before Deb was born. The backstory of Junior Morgan's passing adds to Harry's motivation for adopting Dexter as a child, which ties into that grief. When 3-year-old Dexter was discovered in a pool of his mother's blood in 1973, Detective Harry Morgan adopted him. According to the original Dexter show, Dexter's mother, Laura Moser, had been brutally murdered in front of her sons by drug lord Hector Estrada after he learned that Laura had turned informant to the police. Harry had been one of the first officers on the scene. She was having an affair with Harry Morgan, the police officer with whom she had been exchanging information, of course. As a result, the original series implies that Harry's adoption of Dexter was largely motivated by guilt. Harry felt guilty about Laura's death because she had been an informant for him. So he took in her younger son Dexter and sent her older son, Brian Moser, later known as the Ice Truck Killer, to a mental health facility. Additionally, it was suggested that Harry and Doris adopted Dexter because the Morgans were childless and Harry felt a sense of responsibility for the boy after locating and saving him. However, Harry's decision to adopt and raise Dexter is further supported by the news of Junior's passing. After Junior's passing, Harry felt he had another opportunity to turn his life around by taking Dexter as his son. Harry was able to save Dexter, but not Junior. Dexter would allow Harry and Doris to raise their lost son again, and Harry could try to save him by using the Code of Harry to stop Dexter's dark passenger from turning him into Brian, who he believed was already too far gone. The truth about Harry Morgan's death was one of the most shocking revelations in the first season of Dexter. In Season 2, Dexter and Deb discovered that Harry had committed suicide, despite being informed that their father had passed away from heart disease. Worried about teaching Dexter the code and helping his son turn into a serial killer, Harry overdosed on his heart medication after witnessing Dexter dismember one of his victims. Harry's death was precipitated by witnessing Dexter commit his murder, but his fate is further complicated by the tragic backstory involving Junior. Harry concluded that he had let both of his sons down after witnessing Dexter's actions as the Bay Harbor Butcher. In addition to failing to save Junior from drowning when he was a child, he had allowed his other son to kill and butcher people, turning him into a monster. Tragically, Harry died shortly after because he was unable to cope with his perceived guilt at being the cause of the deaths of both of his sons. Given that Harry's death haunts his children long after the events of Dexter, Original Sin, it appears that this was his way of trying to make sure he didn't ruin Deb as well.